Thank you so much for stepping in to train with me, Open World. I frantically search for the right words or the right container, the right structure, template to engage in a really deeply meaningful, important training with anyone that steps in to work with me. The simplicity of what I want to achieve in our first sprint together is to create a personal time capsule. A friend of a friend died yesterday. I didn't actually know them personally, but in speaking to my friend who knew them, we were in tears. I've just got off a call with her now about how to even express your love. This particular person is one of the dearest people in my life, my very, very, very best friend. And we sat in tears crying about not just the fact that this person had passed away, but how do we make use of our life while we are here? What are the potentials that we are missing out on, we are letting slip through our fingers because of our limited fear-based living, because of our selfishness? And regardless of how we live, unless we're in this euphoric ecstasy, bliss of bravery all the time, we are limiting, we are shrinking. And that's what I want this training to be, is a chance to bound out over the boundaries while we have this fleeting moment of existence. And what a luxury, what a privilege and a gift that you and I get to connect face to face, heart to heart, art to art, to try and do something, because we can't necessarily connect with the greats who have passed, and we don't know the amazing individuals who will be spiraling out through the genetic ancestry of our species ahead of us. We are just distant ancestors to them. But somehow, through natural law and cosmic divination, or just luck and chance, you and I happen to be on a planet at the same time, at a compatible age, with similar interests, and having technology that enables us to bridge gaps of geography. It's like being on the phone with God. Not to deify you or I, but we get to have a real-time interaction with consciousness. We get to speak to an undead voice that is just one blip in this recording of the entire lineage of our species, humanitarian, artistic, or whatever other areas we want to work in. Like right now is real. You and I are alive. And what I want to do is create an archive that speaks as your signature. I say, may your life be the signature of your soul. So if you were to engrave that signature, if you were to scroll that epitaph on your tombstone, what would your eulogy be? What are the messages that you would want to pass on? But maybe even more importantly, what is the documentation of your life? You and your full livingness, your aliveness, your bravery, your passion, your sexiness, your genius, ingenuity, creativity, your humanity, the suppressed inner child who was told to grow up, the bold leader who never could get enough ears or enough traction to truly initiate the momentum for the movement that you wanted to instantiate in this moment in time, to leave as your legacy. What would you say? What do we say? Now we do have the microphone. We do have the camera right now pointed to me. I am alive. This is my moment. This is your moment. And that is the significance that I want to imbue or inject into our training. This is your time capsule that we are going to create. I will, through the various modalities and methodologies and techniques and approaches to embodiment, creativity, and questing, will try to guide you into a moment where you take the reins and you gallop away with full integrity, full bravery, full self-love into that explosion from nothingness, in which you can scatter that big bang of your unique essence out to be captured like how photographs do. They get exposed to the light and that flash, and they sizzle, they merge, they squelch, and then they depict back with vividness that moment of life. of light which is now dissipated and faded away. So what do we say before we fade away? And it's my task as the one facilitating this to give you permission or to be a demonstration of how much of yourself you can lean in as you engrave, and how wildly the fact you can go off the the slab of rock and go into the earth, go into yourself, like break all the rules so that it is the most true and authentic and exact depiction of exactly what is in here. And that is the gift. And I would also encourage you to find someone else to do this process with, because sometimes I believe we can't love ourselves enough to fully honor ourselves. I was speaking to my friend on the phone, on the Skype, and I was saying that what I imagine were I to pass is her at my funeral busting open and speaking the words that I didn't have a chance to, her knowing what I aspired to create with my life, her honoring that by breaking through any of her personal boundaries to embody what I didn't have a chance to live. And that one thing is the brightest light, I think, or the brightest hope that emerges if I think of myself dying before I get to do what I hope to gift out from myself to humanity. And likewise for her, I would back her, I would defend her, I would champion her, I'd put the light on her, I would join her on stage whenever she's daring into a moment of inspiration to totally catch, however wild, however dangerous, however mad from any external perception, totally give myself more and quicker than I would for myself. I would doubt myself. Is this being too much? Is the audience going to misinterpret this? Blah, blah, blah. I would censor myself, but I wouldn't censor her. And so I would encourage you to find someone you can train with that means everything to you. I'm sure that through sharing ourselves vulnerably, we will grow a beautiful friendship and in our training, but find that person that you would die for, that you would bust yourselves open at the seams for, or that you would drag out of themselves so that they could be seen in the shining light before they go. And I think that kind of double bouncing, that amplification, that, grab them and whipping them around, that is one of the greatest services of friendship, I believe. So feel into that. What would you do if you only had these 3 months or 6 months to live? Our training together, hold it as a time to encapsulate your time capsule, to engrave your legacy, leave your signature, and I'm sure in doing so, encourage others to do the same. This is all there is that charge at the membrane of separateness, of safety, that murky membrane that we know is an illusion, that we know is warping our potential, that we know is isolating us, that we know is turning our society into a fraction of what it could be. That illusion, it's so frustrating. I know, that's how I feel at least. So let's charge at it together, face first in kissing, open mouth and chomping, galloping, rewilding, letting the genius spiral out in all its magnificent madness. And in doing so, giving permission for all of those that come after, that witness it, to be reminded of that exact sensation in them. Honored, honored, honored to have this time, this brief breath in eternity, to attempt such a thing. Thank you for stepping into Open World. Thank you for valuing me, or at least what I represent, as a chance to honor yourself. Because this is about you. It's our sovereign journey. It's your autonomous, self-determined attempt at full aliveness. Wow, so beautiful. Thank you. Thank you for playing.